want to learn new things today? I would really love to hear a big yes from you. I am Teacher Clarife and I will be your Science 4 teacher. I'm gonna help you learn many things and I'm gonna bring you to the amazing world of science. So are you ready? That's great. But before we go to the world of exploration, please check if you have the following materials. Do you have with you your module, your notebook, your pen, and of course your snacks? If all are set and ready, come on, let's start the learning adventure. This instructional video is primarily made for you, learners, to continue learning despite this present situation. This video lesson will help you learn science facts and concepts, and also develop your positive attitude and values, and of course, your interest towards science. We will cover the lessons on classify materials based on the ability to absorb water, float, sink, and undergo decay. Specifically, you will learn to identify and describe the kind of materials that float and sink. Second, identify and describe the materials that undergo decay. Third, describe and classify materials based on the ability to absorb water. And lastly, you're gonna classify the materials that undergo decay. Every day, you use different kinds of materials, such as your books and school supplies, the food that you eat, the tools you use. All of them are made of different materials. Let us try to find out how well you know the properties of matter by answering the following questions. Read the questions carefully and write your answers on your notebook. Let's begin. You will be given 5 seconds to answer each question. Question number 1. I am a paper. When folded like a boat, I can float on water. Who am I? A. Boat. B. Paper boat. C. Plastic boat. And D. Styrofoam boat. Your timer starts now. Time is up. Let's proceed to question number 2. Which statement is true? A. All matter has mass and volume. B. All matter has mass but no volume. Letter C. Not all matter has mass and volume. And letter D. All matter has no mass and less in volume. Your timer starts now. Time is up. Let's proceed to question number 3. Which objects will completely sink in water? A. Cork and wood. B. Egg and orange. C. Coins and pebbles. D. Fork and plastic toy. Your timer starts now. Time is up. Let's proceed to question number 4. What do you think should be done with all the decaying materials found in your school? A. Throw them in the garbage can. B. Make a compost from the decaying materials. C. Let your janitor collect those decaying materials. And letter D. Mix the decaying materials to non-decaying materials. Your timer starts now. Time is up. And now let's proceed to the last question. Which of these objects is absorbent? A. Porcelain plate. B. Rubber gloves. C. Water glass. D. Face mask. Your timer starts now. Time is up! Now, let's check your answers. For question number 1, what is your answer? If your answer is letter B, you're correct! Great job! How about question number 2? What is your answer for that? Great! That is letter A. How about number 3? What is your answer?
It's letter C.
Exactly! Great job! How about number 4? What is your answer? Yes, correct. It's letter B. And how about number 5? What is your answer? Great! You got it all correct. So I'm pretty sure that you're ready for our lesson today. I'm so happy that you got all the correct answer. Now, let's study this time. But before that, let us first have this riddle game. So are you excited? Let us tickle your mind by answering the puzzling questions to be solved by guessing the correct answer. Are you ready? This is activity number 1, riddle time. Direction. Read the italicized word as your clue, then choose your answer inside the parentheses. Remember, you have to write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Let's start with number 1. I am sour and juicy. My color is like the sun, and I am a good source of vitamin C. My peel is biodegradable. Who am I? Am I an orange? Or am I an apple? Yes, you're right. I am an orange because I taste sour. How about number 2? Why can a sheep float in water? But why can't I? I am a dressmaker's tiny pointed object with a thread. When you drop me in the water, I'm gonna sink. Am I a scissor? Or am I a needle? Yes, you're right. I am this tiny needle. Great job, kids! You're doing great. I'm pretty sure that you also got all the correct answer. Is it a fun game? Yes, you're right. Did you have fun for that activity? Let's have another one. Activity number 2. It is called Word Bank. You're gonna arrange the jumbled letters correctly with the help of pictures and the meaning. Use a separate sheet of paper for your answer. This is the picture. And these are the jumbled letters. The meaning of this is to fall to the bottom of the water. What could be this word? Yes, you're right. This word is S-I-N-K. Sink. Great job. How about this picture? And these are the jumbled letters. The meaning of this is to stay on top. What could be this word? Yes, you're right. It is float. Very good, kids. And how about this picture? And these are the jumbled letters. The meaning of this is to be slowly destroyed into bits in the presence of water, air, and soil. What could be this word? Great! This word is decay. Have you seen some food that are decaying? Or have you seen some decayed foods in your house? Do you understand the meaning of the word decay? I'm gonna give you an example. Like a banana. If you will not eat the banana and let that stay on your table for how many days, peel of the banana will turn into brown and it will start to decay. The other term for decay is rotten. That's another word for you to add up on your vocabulary. Now let's proceed to the last picture. This is the picture. And these are the jumbled letters. The meaning of this is to take in such as liquid in a natural or gradual way. What could be this word? Yes, this word is absorb. Great job, kids! These words are new words that can be added to your vocabulary, and later on you're gonna understand fully the lesson because you already identified the meaning of these words. These words are important words for our lesson today. Okay, let us conduct a classification of the following materials based on their physical properties. What do you mean by physical properties? Classifying matter according to physical properties. Why classifying materials important? We have here the list of materials. Ripe banana, raincoat, rubber slippers, plastic tumbler with a cup, and cotton towel. This is what you're going to do. From the list of materials, complete the chart by identifying the characteristics and properties and their use. Underline the correct properties inside the parentheses. Note, write your answers in your science notebook. We have here in the table the materials, the properties, and the use of materials. Number 1. Raincoat. Is it plastic or cloth? It is used to wear when it rains in order to stay dry. What would be your answer? Number 2. Rubber slippers. Is it rubber or fabric? Its use is footwear. Plastic tumbler with cap. Is it plastic or wooden? Use of the material, container for the liquid like juice or water. Number 4. Cotton towel. What is its property? Cotton or plastic? Use of the material, wiping purposes. Number 5. Ripe banana. What is its property? Ripe or unripe? Use of the material, food. Did you analyze the questions properly? I hope you got all the correct answers because later on we will gonna check your answers. So that is how you are going to identify its characteristics, its properties, and its use. I have here another activity. Did you notice that we have really lots of activities? I'm pretty sure that you are enjoying it too. Because me, as your teacher, I really love activities. Because this will help you enhance your knowledge And of course, it is one way to help you develop your listening skills and add more to your vocabulary. I have here another set of activity. Maybe you're asking, teacher, why we have lots of activities? Of course, this is science. We have to explore, we have to learn. Having these lots of activities, you are learning, you are enjoying. Okay, so what you're going to do is to classify the materials on how they absorb water, float, sink, and undergo decay. For your answers, use the following symbols. You're gonna draw a heart if your answer is float. You're gonna draw a square or a box if your answer is sink. And you're gonna draw a star if your answer is absorb. And lastly, you're gonna draw a circle if your answer is decay. Did you understand the instruction? Remember, you have to write your answers on your science notebook. Okay, let's begin. Number 1. A cellophane. Does a cellophane float, sink, absorb, or decay? Please write down your answer. How about number 2? Cotton towel. Does a cotton towel float, sink, absorb, or decay? Number 3. Ripe avocado. Write down your answer. Time is up! Did you get the right answers? Are there objects that has 2 or 3 answers? Very good! Now let us have a conclusion. Why classifying materials important? Please write down your answer. Good job! You have done classifying the absorbent and non-absorbent materials. Now let us know more about absorbency of water. This is a picture showing absorbency of water. What do you think is this picture? Yes, you're right. This is a sponge. There are different materials in our environment that can be classified according to their observable properties. Materials can be classified based on their ability to absorb water. Absorbent materials are normally seen in the object with a lot of holes that allow liquid to get inside the materials and occupy the spaces in it, just like the sponge. As you look at the sponge, you will notice that there are lots of holes in it. Some materials can absorb water more than like others, like cotton sponge, cloth, paper, and foam. So these are the examples of absorbent materials. These are the materials that do not allow air or liquid to pass through. Examples of this are plastic bottle, rubber gloves, glass, and porcelain plates. Now that you know how materials absorb and do not absorb water, here is another way to classify materials by grouping them based on the ability to float and sink. Why do objects float? And why do objects sink? I'm pretty sure that you can answer these questions. Am I right? Look at the objects inside the aquarium. Observe closely their properties and characteristics. A ball. Does a ball float or sink? Yes, you're right. A ball floats. How about a coin? Does it float or sink? What is your answer? Yes, you're right. A coin sinks. What did you find out? What materials floated? What materials that sank? Good job, kids! Now do you know what makes objects float or sink? Let us find out what makes objects float or sink. Objects that tightly packed molecules are more dense than those where the molecules are spread out. Density plays a part in why some things float and some sink. Objects that are more dense than water sink, and those less dense float. When an object floats, it pushes water out of the way, and it is called displacement. As you can see in the picture, some objects floated and some sank. Do you know the similarities and differences in the characteristics of the materials that you think affect floating or sinking? Now, let us know its differences and similarities. Materials made of plastic float. Materials made of glass sink. Materials made of rubber float. Materials made of metal sink. Materials made of wood float. And the materials made of cement sink. But why some fruits float and some sink? Some fruits are less dense than water or light enough to float. Some fruits look big, float, and others sink. One of the biggest factors here is the density. Sink means to fall at the bottom of the water. To sink is to make or allow something to become thoroughly wet by settling it at the bottom of a container with a liquid. To float is to move on or near the surface of a liquid such as water without sinking. Some things float on top of water, and some things stay submerged partway down, and some things sink. Some things sink very fast, and some things sink very slowly. An object's shape can affect its ability to float, but some materials float no matter what their shape, such as styrofoam and balsa wood. Some things float at first, but then sink as they absorb water or take water on through holes. Wow, amazing! You're so good! You have learned a lot about floating and sinking. Most of the places you go have some forms of waste segregation. What is this waste segregation? Have you tried segregating your waste as biodegradable or non-biodegradable? Let's learn about this. Materials that undergo decay are biodegradable. Some biodegradable materials decay very fast. This include fruit peelings, seeds, stems of fruits, and vegetables. Materials that do not decay are non-biodegradable or will take a long period of time to decompose with the help of Mother Nature. Examples of non-biodegradable materials are bottles, plastics, porcelain, glass, and rubber. So that is all about the materials that undergo decay. Now, do you understand what are biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials? If you do, you're such an amazing kid. Now, let's have a short recap of our lesson. What was the first thing that we had discussed? Yes, you're right. It's about the ability of the materials to absorb water. And what's next to that? Yes, the ability of the materials that sinks or float. And lastly, we learned about the materials that undergo decay. Great job, kids! I'm pretty sure that you can answer all the activities on your modules correctly. Now let us remember these things. Learning science is very important because everything that you can see around you are all part of science. Do you believe that? From the air that you breathe and from the food that you eat, those are all parts of science. You will learn many things and you will continue learning if you keep on studying. if you keep on exploring. That's science. This is Teacher Clarifes saying thank you and goodbye. See you again for our next lesson.